And of course, the minority has raised concerns, made demands. We've seen the president respond to same. Does it give us the sense of seriousness attached to it for the president to respond to it?
Let me say good morning to your viewers and to my two brothers in the studio, yourself and your crew. It's a long time I've been to this studio.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Richard made a profound statement when he started by saying we should not be apolitical in this issue. Cocaine trade or cocaine matters are not only limited to Ghana.
Indeed.
It's all over the world.
Yeah.
Why is American deporting people to their country because they feel they were involved in drugs and those kind of things? Unfortunately, in our part of the world, to be able to get to know that cocaine is being brought in this country by tip-offs. Probably, maybe the FBI or will alert the Ghana security agencies that they are on the trail of certain persons, and they believe that they are coming towards your country. The recent one that was arrested at Paydu Junction came from the high seas. And Ghanaian fishermen went on the high seas and brought the cocaine. He didn't come by road or anything of that sort. And it was arrested at Paydu. Look at how far from Western region all the way to Paydu. So either there was a trail or a tip-off. Now, the security agencies normally alert the people of this country that something untoward has happened and we have arrested, we have seized so much load of cocaine. Then what is done is then to investigate. And more invariably, because we don't grow cocaine, we don't go the ports here. They have to collaborate with foreign intelligence agencies. Say, well, this cocaine came from this area, and then we think you can help us to locate who are the cartel or the drug barons behind. So it then becomes an international investigation. You understand? So you don't expect the security agencies to come and give you daily updates, briefings on what they are doing. It's never done anywhere. They have to really make enough, get to know because they always get to know by tip-offs. Remember the Moatin case? It was a tip-off from here. And they started trailing him all over the world and eventually caught him at Heathrow Airport. So these are things that are not only the purview of the Ghanaian security agencies. So it's premature for us to be shouting all over the place and blaming security agents for not being. They have to take their time. I was listening to most of the analysis over the weekend, and that's what they are saying. They have to. Otherwise, everything will go cold. But sometimes they make these announcements to prompt so that if somebody somewhere has any other information, because don't forget there's people who handle these things. Somebody, a patriotic person will come up and give you a tip. At least I heard something of that. So those early information goes out for people to come and do what? To bring more information. Because if it's done underground or secretly, nobody will be able to hear to be able to offer information. So I think, and like I said, this is not the first time that we are hearing of cocaine being brought to this country in so many quantities. Some of them, you see them floating. The Benjamin, they were floating even on the high seas. It was floating on the high seas. So we need to be patient. I've always said that. The moment we try to score political points, then we lose the import of what we are doing. And this is what is happening to this country. It now becomes, to use the word Kokofu football. Then this one will say this one will say this, without actually giving reference to the agencies. We must rather encourage them to be up and doing. The call by the minority caucus in Parliament, I think, is in the right direction. If they have the information, it's very important that they bring the information to the government. Maybe the government, a plane comes to land at Kotoka Airport. Until some arrest is made, before the president can be briefed that we have been able to arrest a plane that's landed with cocaine, and they'll be given a daily briefing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, do you expect every plane that lands in Ghana to be briefed, the president to be briefed every morning that plane A has landed, plane B has landed? No. That's not how it's done.
But could it also be that the nature of the information they have now, if they put it out there, could compromise the investigation?
Now, what has happened is that the minority has put up information. Minority caucus, they've put up an information.
Regarding the 2 flights that
Regarding the 2 flights. Me and you were not there. We have no idea. So now, probably the government itself has no idea, because I tell you, these are cartels. And they have collaborators. So until an arrest is made or somebody is tipped off, then the security, because every plane that comes to Ghana, in a day, more than 20 planes come there, right? And the baggages are x-rayed before it comes to the tarmac, it comes to the, what they call it, the baggage area for people to collect it. And that is how, even when you are smuggling drugs out of UK, you are only caught when they screen the bags. And they find out, and they mark it and wait for whoever will come and pick the bag. You understand? Before the government will even be alert that we have been, something of that sort has happened.
But if it's landing at our national airport, don't our security system operate in a way that it has access to the cargo manifest and all, be able to track the flight, know where it's been?
But do you think the person will ride cargo cocaine?
No, but of course, I mean, you can track where the flight has been and be able to pick intel on whether it's been engaged in suspicious activities or not.
Before the plane lands, there's a manifest where it's coming, the tail number will tell you where it took off and that kind of thing. Right. So if a plane takes off from Fumichi Airport, you only will know it's carrying cocaine or something. First, people in Fumichi Airport, that is Italy, must first see it, because they load the baggage onto the plane.
Yeah.
So they should see. So if they haven't seen it and it is assumed that the plane that has landed is clean. If the baggage goes through the X-ray, probably there was a cartel which allowed the plane to fly out. When it lands here and our system is able to detect, then with the trail starts. Then you go back to find out where did the plane come, where did it stop, and that kind of thing. When there was a plane that said it was missing along the line, they had to trace from where it started. Remember, about a year or so ago. So these things are done. They have protocols that they follow. So now, if by chance one has slipped through, and the minority have found it, I believe it's in the right direction that they made the press conference and alert the security agent. Maybe either there are collaborators there, or either they were not able to detect it. So now is the time for us to, whether when the plane landed, goods were discharged. So now I have to go back to the protocols. Goods were discharged. How did they pass through customs? Who came to handle it? So what the minority has done is to have opened the Pandora box. For government now, President, like he said, it has come to his attention that this is you don't expect him to have known whether the plane has landed and whether. So now he has called for the investigative machinery to go call the minority spokesperson, like
the ranking member
like Richard said. I don't think it's going to be a witch hunt, or then come and give us information, because you are part of the system. You are in parliament, and you are privileged to have certain information. But I and you, we are not privileged to have it. So I don't think we should start making politics out of this country. We've been talking too much, and we've been shouting too much. You understand? Without looking at the realities on the ground to make statements, we shout too much. Everything has turned to politics, and so at the end of the day, like he said, my brother said, you end up going nowhere because instead of us looking at the reality, the procedure followed. You have to do all these things before the security agencies can come to a finality and say, well, this is what we have found. Somebody must investigate it. Because not everything that all of us sees at any given moment of time. So I believe that once we put politics aside and we behave as Ghanaians and we want to interrogate everything Ghana first and stop this political Kokofu football, as I said earlier on, we'll get nowhere. But this is not the first time that cocaine has come to this country.
Right.
This is not the first time. You remember, I don't want to mention names. People were smuggling gold. And, I mean, there are a lot of things happen, and they are collaborators.
Right.
So we have to rather sit down, look at the sore. Like if you have a sore on your foot, if you don't look at what is causing the sore, and you just keep putting injection violet on it, you end up digging the sore, rather killing you. So these things, we need to be patient, and I like Richard's assertion. Let's take it easy. Let's find out. I don't want this thing to become something like, doing MPP time, this happened. This NDC time, this happened. No. Like you said, we are, almost 90 days.
Yeah.
And Richard rightly says something. People take advantage of a government when governance has changed. The transition period. The transition period. People take advantage of it. It is for us to be very vigilant. When I heard about this Pedu matter, from the West, and I realized that it was brought in by canoe. Right? Our Navy, recently, there were some pirates on this thing, what do you call it? Some Chinese.
And the minority had issue with that as well. I recall that they had wanted to buy some patrol vessels, and that didn't happen. So the raised issue with that as well. Issue. That's not a matter of, but look, there are a lot of, they've got the ECOWAS treaty on the high seas. Yeah. So it started from somewhere before it came to, before they came to. But perhaps if we had, those vessels would have been better equipped.
Do you know that you can also use other methods apart from vessels? There's satellite. There's a lot of not only there are a lot of ways of monitoring what's happening on the. In other countries, they just sit in a, what do you call it?
A control room.
A control room, and they can see what's happening in our country. Maybe these are the things that we shouldn't be myopic.
Well, maybe we are not there yet, but one step at a time.
No, but we should think out of the box.
Right.
If your funds are not enough to buy a patrol boat, do you have to? If you are paid 1,000 cedis a month and you keep spending 1,500 cedis a month, do you think you survive?
No, you run into debt.
Yes. So if the money is not there to buy the patrol boat, what is the alternative? What is the alternative? You understand? So we shouldn't be myopic. We should be open-minded. And
let me come back to you, Richard, on the politicization of issues, because the chairman of the committee, James Ahiagbah, has responded to his ranking and says that in due time, the details of the investigations will be made public. And now that the president has ordered for a full-scale investigation and asked that the ranking assist in the investigations, will it be just the responsibility of the ranking member, or by virtue of he being a ranking member and being privy to such information means by extension the committee is aware of this, and so the committee collectively should be able to assist?
Yeah, I think the committee should be up and doing, and I think by now, which is something I'm finding out, that they've not been briefed on this matter, which is the reason the ranking member was provoked to have this press conference. So certainly the committee should be kept in the loop, given that it has implications for national security, and therefore these are investigative matters. You don't want to give daily update necessarily. Then the committee should be the one that has full knowledge, because I'm pretty sure that their training and role will allow them to manage information, so that when they are brought into the knowledge of some of these behind the scenes stuff, they won't come and spill them up in public. And so they should at least have that benefit of full disclosure.
Could the committee have formally requested for a briefing instead of the ranking coming out the way he did?
Yes, I'm sure that could have been done, but then that burden is both on the ranking and the chair. But the chair, having heard him, I think at one point in time, putting the burden on the ranking to be the one to have called, I think that he had an equal, a more onerous responsibility to actually ensure that his committee is properly kept in the loop, given that that is their purview. But I think that aside, the national security or the security agencies themselves, especially in the case of Charles Hagan, whose arrest has happened, and the cocaine or the whatever, the slabs of cocaine are being seized and put in custody. What is the happenings to do with him? Is he being prosecuted? What is happening to him? We don't know that. As for that, we need an update, really, what is happening, because presently nobody knows anything about him. The only thing we know is that he was seen with cocaine. It's supposed to have been his property, and then that's it. Nobody is saying anything about it. And so in relation to the other matters and the investigation, even including the Sapema matter, it's become public already. Now, once it's become public, some measure of update, if not to the larger population, at least to the committee, there should be some update, so that you would have had a situation where the minority ranking member would not have come out to actually state some of these things if they had full disclosure on what is happening. I think that he came out essentially because everybody is in the dark, including them. And that's something that I think is not acceptable. Either the committee and the security or the agencies they superintend need to work a bit more closely so that they are informed. If they are informed, then the people in turn are informed, because they will manage that information and drive accountability and oversight on our behalf. So I think that is useful. If it's not, they don't have a schedule of update to the committee specifically, and then the committee should be minded to call them from time to time to pursue some of this issue on behalf of the public. I'm pretty sure on my senior brother's issue on the president not being aware, or likely not being aware of that Kavok Antonov aircraft that was here for some 10, 13 days. That would be shocking. I'm sure he's aware. Otherwise, we should worry for our national security, because he is aware. As to whether he will be aware of the content, as to whether he should speak to it, even if he's aware in the post that he made in reaction to the minority press conference, is another. That he knows about the mission, or maybe the unstated mission of the aircraft, assuming there is a cartel that is operating it and brought it in for their own goals. National security should know about that. There cannot be any airplane that lands there without national security awareness. So definitely he knows about it. As to whether he's willing to speak about it and its mission, is something that I suppose that perhaps has security implications or investigative implications, so therefore he may not speak to it. But because the minority has come up with that press conference, he can acquiesce in stating that we should go ahead and investigate it without disclosing much of that. But I'm pretty sure that he's aware that that aircraft has been in our country, sat there for the number of days that it sat there, and immediately after its departure, you have this cocaine find, that volume. I don't know the kilograms of cocaine that was found, but the estimate is that it's worth about some $350 million. US dollars. The final destination from Accra of that aircraft is to a place, the Gran Canaria, I think, island. It's one that has been embroiled in a lot of cocaine conversation or drug conversation. So that raises the alarm bells, actually escalates the need for us to have questioned, which I know, the security matter. It's unfortunate that it's become a national, public domain conversation. But I'm pretty sure that the government should know, even without any further investigation, that there's something amiss with that aircraft coming into our country. The key thing we're asking, and I think that all of us should be interested in asking and insisting, is that the government must do everything possible not to tag us, or not to have our country be tagged as a drug transit destination, because that has implication for commerce, has implication for investment, have implication for economy at large, and so therefore we should do everything to fight that and not become known as a cocaine destination or drug destination.
Right. Elvis, you think there was or there is a lapse in our security system? Because according to the minority, one of the flights, AirMed, was designed as a patient transport facility or ambulance, air ambulance, but sat here for 5 days, did not transport any patient, and then creates room for all these suspicions and allegations. Do you think there was a lapse in our security? They should have been able to pick up enough intel to know exactly what the operations of that flight was in our country.
As I've said, I have my own reasons. See, 10 years ago, a private jet landed at Kotoka International Airport. Somebody was able to carry cash of over $3 million, walked out of Kotoka, came to Ghanaian banks looking for a place to deposit the money. 2 banks rejected the money on know your customer basis. A 3rd bank accepted the money. And somebody tipped off the Financial Intelligence Center. By the time FIC will write to the bank that the money should be frozen because they are arresting some people, and take the case to court, the money had been claimed and transferred back to the country where the people came from. I remember a director of SIC at the time was one of the people arrested on grounds that the money is said to be money that was going to be used to finance investment in Ghana. The FIC checked, and the investment is supposed to be a school. And even FIC checks shows that there is no such a school. So, for me, with such an information, someone had to tip me off to go to the court on the day that the suspect was going to be arraigned for me to be able to get all the details of this case. So it will not surprise me because it has happened and there's evidence to show that people can just launder money through private jets, enter Ghana. With all the security at Kotoka International Airport, they can carry over $3 million out of the airport in cash, in bags, and be looking for Ghanaian banks to deposit the money. This has happened, and it's on record. The FIC knows. It's in the records are in the Ghanaian courts, which I have written stories about. So it's not surprising if minorities raising this issue because I have seen some of these things happen before in the past. And you see, we think shouting and talking about it in Ghana and doing nothing, little or nothing about it is all good. But we must also understand that things like this are reasons why investors will not be interested to come to your country. Because no serious investor wants to go and put their money in a country where cocaine and money laundering is something that is open and is reported everywhere in the media, and by the courtesy of internet, wherever they are in the world, with a click of a button, they can read the stories, and they cannot tell where or the conclusion of such matters. This case I mentioned that happened over 10 years ago. When the suspect was granted bail, up to today, there is no information anywhere about how that case has been concluded. Because FIC was handicapped because the time they had written to the bank to freeze the account, the money had not been transferred back, clean and transferred back to the people who brought the money. And the people had left the country. They had left the country because they came with a private jet. So it's only a Ghanaian who is said to be on registration document as a director of the said school who was picked up. And after the court had granted bail, today, if you will now know what was the conclusion of that case. So investors genuine and serious investors with big money who are looking for good places to invest. These are some of the issues why our president can travel all over the world and beg investors to come. They will not come. Because no serious investor will want to be
associated with such
a country that is like a destination or a transit point for drugs. A country that is a destination for money laundering. No serious business person in the world wants to be associated because, see, they understand the risk associated with this thing. Drugs had made other countries so insecure today that drug laws determine who become president, who become MP, who become whatever in some countries today.
Yeah.
Money laundering is doing the same. And money laundering goes, drugs and money laundering also goes with terrorism. So if you're in a sub-region that is surrounded with a lot of instability and a sub-region that is threatened by a lot of terrorism in West Africa, you will not want to be the shining star, so-called shining star in the sub-region based on your performance. And your record is that as for you, even though you are not unstable because of terrorist act or this, you are the base for these criminals to transact business in the sub-region and even out of the sub-region to other jurisdictions. So we should know that these things have serious implications for our country's reputation and image wherever the country's name will be mentioned. That is why the approach that we have adopted up to today is very dangerous, because we are not able to deal with these issues to the conclusive end for people out there to know that even if it happens in Ghana, we can say, and as the case I've mentioned, as of today, if you ask how the case concluded after the suspect that was arrested was granted bail, you cannot find it. So somebody will Google and get the story to read that this is it. This amount of money was loaned to Ghana. But will Google and say, so what happened was next? The end of the case and cannot find anything. How do you expect that person to believe that there is any serious fight against some of these criminal activities that Ghana is being used for?
Very well. Let me come to Chairman. How do we clear this perception and restore our image?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, Richard, are you saying that the plane that landed at the Kotoka airport has anything to do with the cocaine that was found in Pedu? Because so far we have not been told that the plane that landed in Kotoka airport, cocaine was taken out of. The ranking member hasn't categorically mentioned. And so
but he made reference to two planes.
Yes, the two planes, but he never
linked that to the Pedu
exactly. So I mean, you should decouple this Pedu matter from
I wasn't. I think you heard me, but I wasn't being categorical. I'm saying that the rather interesting coincidence that you have that aircraft come from a place where we know is neck deep in drug activity, and so right on the heels of its departure. That's exactly what I said.
So I'm saying that.
So I didn't link it. I was just saying that my very phrasing of it is that.
But the English language.
No, hold on. On the heels of that aircraft's departure, then there is another bust of cocaine estimated to be worth 350.
There are two different things. So the one that was busted at Pedu, there's all indication that it came from the high seas.
Yeah, so I haven't linked. I'm just saying that that aircraft is leaving.
So it's going to be exported out.
No, you can't make those assumptions. We can't sit here.
But he's not drawn.
No. This is the problem. This discussion is going worldwide.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So don't make assumptions.
No, just give me 1 second.
Just let me finish. The arrest at Pedu, mean that if they are not arrested, those cocaine were going to put on the plane to fly away.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
He's not said that.
Let me just clarify so you understand.
I'm saying that just after this flight left,
that there are two separate things. It can never be.
Do your analysis, but don't try to speak for me.
I'm not speaking for my understanding. I'm trying to.
But you have to understand properly. You cannot misunderstand to say that's what I said.
I'm saying that it cannot be. They
nobody link the two.
Yeah, so
nobody here, I for one, never made that connection. If you want to make that,
that's the impression.
I didn't create that impression. It's an intentional impression. So I take strong exception to that.
Now that's clear.
Take very strong exception to that.
That's clear. So let's proceed.
So and the other thing that the president knowing and decided not to speak about is an assumption we should make. Please, you're not in the presidency. We don't know the thing of the president. We don't know whether it was briefed or not. I don't think the president. I'm coming. I just told you that every plane that lands at Kotoka Airport every day, the president not briefed about unless something untoward has happened, national security has arrested something. Then they go and brief him. Otherwise, if British Airways lands, if KLM lands, 7, 8 times a week. The president has to be briefed what cargo
I don't think that's what we are saying.
No.
You get briefings on suspicions.
Exactly, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah. That if the plane, the minority spokesperson has now alleged that the plane stood there and another came with medical, and I thought he would have concluded. I don't want to take this to a political level. But my question, you should have said that that plane had X amount of ABC on it. That's what we have. That's what my intelligence is telling me. But whoever briefed you that that plane has been on the tarmac for 15 days must also brief you what it came to discharge. But I cannot give you half truths. You understand? So you should be able to. Now that is why it's now being called to come and tell you, we the security people at the airport never saw anything. You have seen something. So come and tell us. That's what I'm saying. So
wouldn't that be an indictment on the part of
that
the
is, I'm saying that if the security, you see, you are assuming that the medical plane came with some drugs. That's what you're assuming.
Yeah.
So if the assumption is true that they came with some drugs and the security agent didn't find it, then your answer will be right. But as yet, we are yet to be told what cargo was on that plane. And whoever said they has gotten the information on what cargo is on the plane must come and tell us. We cannot sit here and say that you know what the type of cargo that the plane brought, or whether it brought dead bodies or it brought some medical equipment. You don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So investigation will tell us, right? So that if it actually came with something untoward and the security agencies knew about it and they kept silent, then quickly they must be held responsible. Something must be done about the question you are asking me. So in Ghana, we are very good. We are very quick to speculate. Very quick to speculate. And I'm saying that this drug menace didn't start 90 days ago. It didn't start 90 days ago.
Right.
People have been prosecuted in this country.
Indeed.
And you are right. The MB Benjamin, you said even at the police here at the headquarters, the cocaine turned to coconte
powder. Yeah.
So you can imagine. So it's not the reign of the regime of Mahama in 30 days, 90 days, that hell must break loose. Hell cannot break loose.
Very well.
Hell cannot break loose.
Just a quick
you understand? So please, I said earlier on that we must have cool heads. Let's stop wanting to score political points. But all of us can score political
politics
points.
with the issue.
I've been in this country for a very long time. I know MPs who have been arrested on cocaine issue. I know MPs, I know parliamentarians, I know people who use cocaine money to sponsor parties. It's not something new. We have been in this country for a long time, and Ghana is not only a country that so our reputation is not going to be damaged because 350 million worth of cocoa. That's a cocoa. Cocaine has just been found a week ago, or 2 planes have landed at Kotoka Airport, and we are investigating. All of a sudden, Ghana has got investors will not come to this country. They are coming, they are droves. They are coming.
We hope so.
Just a quick one.
It will help improve
we
our
should stop
economy.
this.
Briefly,
yes. So there's a burgeoning cocaine activity. That's what we're talking about. It's a burgeoning situation. And what we're trying to say is that government must keep its eye on the ball. Here around the table, I don't think that anybody had sought to politicize the matter. Chairman has drifted there, and we can do that. But the point is this. That
drifted there.
Because
to stay on course.
No, because this whole thing about the people have been prosecuted for cocaine and all of that. The key thing we have, the point we're making here is not one to establish or to point fingers, but we're saying that there's a responsibility that must be, discharged on behalf of the people of this country. That these activities of plane coming in, which planes, mission we cannot establish. Even the air med that you're talking about, I didn't even mention that. The point is that an air med airplane or aircraft that comes to a country, you cannot establish if we brought a human being. What was its mission? You understand? What was its mission? Now, this whole drug thing is a cartel. There will be people within our national security architecture who are aiding and abetting some of these things. Based on what Elvis just talked to us about, how can the money loaded in sacks, evade everybody's surveillance from the airport and ends up at the bank and succeeded in getting into the banking system and was clean in the matter. So this is a whole architecture. It involves people deep in government. And so therefore bringing attention to this matter is right. It's not to say the government is culpable. It could be that the government, people who should be supervising themselves are not, and they got their eye off the ball, and some unscrupulous people within the architecture are abusing their power to aid these people to do that trade. But definitely, even 1 million worth of cocaine tagged to a country has direct implication for its...
Let alone 350 million.
Exactly, has direct implication for its economy.
Right. We'll take a break here. When we will come back, we have other matters that we'll be delving into. The Chairman Emeritus, Joseph Adekoka, is here. Elvis Dakon of the News Center is here. And we have Richard Ahiagbah, NPP Communications Director. This is Breakfast Daily. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
My name is Obidumbi Edu. Let me welcome you to Franco, your home of quality and affordable electrical appliances. Franco has in stock mobile phones, laptops, washing machines, television sets ranging from 32 to 100 inches. Yes, as big as 100 inches. They are very affordable and energy efficient. Yes, so rush to any Franco shop and grab for yourself any of the electrical appliances. Franco, still phone papa FA.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back. Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is the news review segment on Breakfast Daily live on ChannelOne television. My name is Nanatu Boateng, and I have with me the communications director of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Richard Ahiagbah, here with me. Elvis Dakon, editor of the News Center newspaper, and of course the online portal newscenter.com is also here. And then of course the Chairman Emeritus, former Greater Accra Regional Chairman for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Joseph Adekoka. We're going into other stories. A menace that doesn't seem to want to go away. One that is leaving in its trail destruction and devastation. I'm referring to illegal mining. We have been told that in the Western region, some 11 persons have been arrested along the Bonsat River. Now, out of these 11, we have 7 Ghanaians and 4 Chinese nationals. We've been fighting this illegal mining menace over the years, as far as I can remember. But I'll start with you, Elvis. Do you think we are using the right approach?
I've said it here before that for me, we are going nowhere. Because, as I earlier said, you cannot be doing the same thing and expect a different result. Galamsey fight started seriously under President Mills and Mahama 1. It's the same approach of deploying security. Go in there, go and bring the people. It came to nothing. We got to a point, it was so serious that we decided that any foreigner, especially Chinese, that are arrested, no prosecution, we just deport them straight back to their country. Today, our Chinese are still not in Galamsey. They are still heavily in the Galamsey.
And 4 are even part of those recently arrested.
Akufo-Addo came. The same deployed military and soldiers and whatever police. Where are we? We are at the same point. So I have said that President Mahama should, under no circumstances, repeat what we have done in the past.
What should be the approach?
I have said it, that Galamsey, as we speak, Galamsey is like the cocaine business. Anything that the returns, the money in there is big, fighting it is very difficult.
Yeah, true.
That is why the whole world is fighting cocaine and they can't fight it. That's why any country that has gold has fought Galamsey, illegal mining, and still they have not been able to win the battle because the people still are in there. They are in there. So when we deploy military, police, and all this, and it has failed because we judge by the water bodies that we see, and we are clear in our mind that we have gone nowhere. So for me, I have said that I see this Galamsey thing. First of all, the reason we can't fight it is greed. The people into it are greedy, and all the institutions we are relying on to fight it, there are greedy people inside there. You talk to people in Galamsey communities and talk to people in their business, and they will tell you that there's no head of security at the district that is not getting some payment from Galamseyers on weekly or monthly basis. And therefore, the very people we are paid by state money, that's our delegation. But have you forgotten that we actually have to collapse the whole Galamsey committee because of allegations of corruption against them? When we said the state is to investigate, up to now, has anybody published the outcome of the investigation of that Galamsey committee that was accused of corruption, and as a result of that, they have to be collapsed? Have you seen any report? Because the very people that are supposed to investigate themselves will never give you the report, because they are the ones who have been accused of being involved in this menace. Pastors are into Galamsey, military heads are into Galamsey, police heads are into Galamsey, journalists are into Galamsey, politicians are into Galamsey. Every segment of imam, everybody, you will find somebody from any segment of society into Galamsey. So if you say we want to continue that approach, you arrest somebody today, the person will be released tomorrow. Sometimes even the same day, a call will just come and say, please release this person. So the truth of the matter is that, you see, you either want to go brutal and says, whether you finance my campaign or not, we are not going after the small boys we are arresting in the pit. We want to know those who are able to buy these excavators. The kingpins, the financiers of this business is what we want to target. However, we are unable to target them because they are the ones who made us who we are. They are the ones who put us in the various positions that we are. Our position depends on them. They finance us. They said, hey, put this person in this position as an appointee or that. So bottom line is that if you do anything, it's going to be so difficult. So I have said that, look, first of all, let all the security issues come to rest. Let them sit somewhere for now. Ghanaians leading Galamsey fight will be difficult. So I've said that there are other countries that have shown some success in terms of Galamsey fight. Can we learn lessons from them? How did they do it? Okay. Can we get some expert advice? Maybe some technical people from those countries that have achieved some success to come in and say, look, come here, help us. These are the various reports of from Mahama 1 and Mills till today. These are the challenges we think we have identified. The people who took those decisions and were part of it, none of them should be part of the review. Let different groups who have nothing to do with Galamsey fight come in. Let experts from abroad come in. Let them review all the reports that have been written, okay? And then let them go to the field and see what is happening. Put them in helicopters, go around Ghana and see what is happening. And let them now come back and say, look, if you want to fight this thing, these are our recommendations to the president. And then, if possible, these foreigners, who are technical, who have done it in their country, have gained some success, let's hire them to be the leaders of this group. And let them guide and direct what we want to do. But with the current situation that we have, I can tell you that any amount of effort we want to put into Galamsey fight is going to be difficult. Because if military bosses, soldiers, big men are in Galamsey, and you say their subordinates should go and fight it, and they go and arrest somebody, and the call comes from the big boss, what do you expect to happen? If ministers, these chief executives, a lot of them were into Galamsey. There are pastors who are into Galamsey, chiefs who own the land. See that there's money that is into Galamsey.
Allegedly.
So please stop this allegedly. That's the problem we have. Let's face the facts and tell ourselves that this is the problem. You see, accepting that is the problem is one part of the solution.
Yeah.
But always want to pretend like this is why we cannot fight the thing. So I've said, for instance, if I have a community and foreigners come here, people who are not from the community, they come, they are digging the land, they are making money. I will not sit down for them to take all the money. I also join.
Yeah.
But if we want to do, say, okay, small scale mining should still happen, allocations should go to the people of the community, not giving licenses to people in Accra that they say gold has been found in this community and the person, oh, I want to go and mine gold, small scale, and they give somebody a license who is from Volta or who is from somewhere to go and do mining in Western region. Because he has a license, he goes there and is just doing work, he's becoming very rich, driving VS and everything. The point they come are very poor. And he goes to the chief and says, look, this your palace is bad, I'll build a new, I'll rehabilitate it for you. And he builds a new palace for the chief. And everyone are living in poverty. You think that they will not join the Galamsey? They will.
They will.
So the point is that if we even want to streamline the whole thing, suspend all the small scale mining licenses. And say, the policy of government is that if you want to do small scale mining, if only the gold is found in your land, we'll let you do it. And they will let you know that if you destroy the water, you are destroying your own water body. Truth of the matter, a lot of the water bodies say have been destroyed. Are not being destroyed by the people in the community.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who are engaged into this thing are people from other places. And so the people say, if I'm sitting down for my livelihood to be destroyed and the person is making money, then I must also go in and also make some of the money before the gold is finished in the land. So I think that we should restrict small scale mining to indigenes of the area.
Okay.
And say, if you are from this area and there's gold here, we want you to do it, and then we'll help you do it well. If you destroy the water, you are killing yourself. But if I'm from Volta, and you say, I have a license to go and mine in Western region, and I have to destroy the water to make money, I don't care, because after making my money, I'll come back to sit in the Volta region and enjoy my money, because the water that is destroyed is not what serves me. So I think that we need to have a completely different approach. Suspend everything about Galamsey, suspend everything about small scale mining, suspend all committees, review what has been done in the past, get all the fallouts, okay? President Mama should call for all national security reports on Galamsey, and look at the names of people who are involved.
Right.
NDC big men are there, NPP big men, people are there. This is the situation we have. So, okay, I want to fight the Galamsey as a president. So, when I bring in the technical experts from abroad, they come in and do all the reviews, and they give me a guideline as to how to go about it. I think that I'll implement that. I don't care who is involved. President Mahama has a very good opportunity, because this is his last term. He doesn't need to seek re-election to be afraid of somebody who has financed him or not. So I think that he can leave a legacy only when he's able to do things differently.
Sure. Obviously, thank you. Let me come to Chairman. Should we declare a state of emergency on small-scale mining, sit back, do a proper retrospection and introspection, and then come out with a proper approach to dealing with the menace?
You know what? When all this Galamsey discussion started, I started one of your sister stations or studio, and I said, Galamsey should be banned. Small-scale mining should be suspended. Even the big mining companies, they should all be set aside for the next 3 to 4 years, 5 years. We reclaim our land. Look, how much are we getting from the gold? How much? The last time I heard that 2 billion worth of Ghanaian gold has been exported to Dubai. And out of that 2 billion, most of them were smuggled. How much did Ghana get?
Yeah.
How much? Peanuts. Recently, the budget, we said we're increasing extractive duty on tax on extractive industries from what?
1%.
1% to 3%.
That is sustainability.
My brother, that is peanuts. That is ridiculous. 3%. You know how much they are taking out of the country?
No, but that's not a tax, so that is an additional money.
Additional. So
Yeah.
add the total tax and tell me how much you are getting from the gold. Go to Obuasi. Go to Takwa. Go to all those mining places. Just suppose that to
Johannesburg. Yeah.
You see the developments there. These people are living in, the 15, 16, the Americans were trying to dig for gold in California. They used to stay in tents. That is what they are staying in now. Where was this from? When we were growing up, our mothers were buying jewelry. They go to, in Accra, there's a place called Teshi. They go there, they had goldsmiths. You go, and when you want gold chain, they'll do it for you. We were not seeing all these things. But gold was being dug from the ground. We sat here and we allowed excavators on this N1 road. Every evening, you see excavators just traversing this road. And sometimes I ask myself, I used to see them, I ask myself, what kind of construction is happening in Western region or that kind of thing? That time, Galamsey matter has done. I keep seeing these excavators, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 excavators on this big payload, traversing this your road.
To the west.
And so I kept asking, not knowing that was the result. I thought they were going to construction, building because oil has been found. They were doing so. No. So the first thing we need to do is to have an inventory of all excavators that has come to this country. It came through the Mahabo. They have chassis numbers. Because before you clear it, you have to have a chassis number. You have to go through so many. The ownership of all those things. You should be able to identify them. So who brought them in? Like he said, the big guys. One excavator is not less than
It's like $1 million.
Yes. These guys that you see dying, can they afford it?
Unfortunately, excavator sits as actually our second largest import last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we must have an inventory. Find out which of the excavators are in road construction and how
many are into mining.
And then recall all of them. All of them. Everybody, the owners must be asked to bring the excavators at a designated place. That's the first principle. We need to do that. Because if you raid the place midnight, you are not there, and the excavator is there. By morning, what would they have done?
In fact, now they work in the night. The security were ready to do
Exactly.
Exactly.
So what have you achieved? Let's record all these excavators back, right, to where they should be parked. And then, like my brother said, either bring experts how to reclaim the land, the water. Look, I was watching a video over the weekend, the turbidity of water in one of
Western region.
The
treatment plant.
Jesus
The headworks.
Charlie. And I mean, you see, my brother here is lucky to be having what? So,
but even the amount of chemicals they need to put to for it to be like this, you are drinking that chemical. You are bringing out chemical into your body.
On our health, our economy, everything.
So that's the first thing that we have to do. If you don't cut the head and you cut the tail, you have done nothing. Secondly, you ask whether there should be a state of emergency declared. If I'm advising President Mahama, I'll say yes. I'll say yes. Because the problem the next 10 years is that we have to order ships to bring water. And I don't know where they are going to get the water. They are going to bring you seawater.
And how many people can even afford it?
Exactly. So the problem is, like I keep saying, some of us, we say as it is. And I want us to elevate we have all done ourselves great disservice over the years by playing politics with Galamsey.
Yeah.
And it's about time we reset this country and elevate ourselves beyond this political game.
Yeah. And be holistic in our approach to
Because
dealing with issues.
I went to Cape Coast for a function about 2-3 months ago. And I slept in one of the, I don't want to mention the name of the hotel. After I had taken my bath, what I saw in the bathroom, I was scared. So I said, all this water has passed
Your body.
by my body. And I asked myself, was my body that dirty?
It's the water.
Yeah, it's the water. The water is not
So you can imagine even the daytime, how about the evening when I didn't even see what was
exactly.
happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what is happening.
It's dangerous.
So
it's
we
dangerous.
should all rally behind the government. Let's put politics aside. Let's stop scoring political points out. The president said this when he was on campaign trail. I mean, on campaign trail, we see a lot of things. But when it comes to reality dawn on us, for our own sake, our children, our generations yet unborn. I was watching a video from Sierra Leone, and they deal in diamonds. The same thing in Salo.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Hey, when I said, hey, so it's not only Ghana now.
Chairman, South Africa. It's a major problem in South Africa.
Yeah, you understand? And look at the water that we ourselves are drinking and bathing. And now you go to the hospitals. You go to the hospitals in the Western region. You see people, children born with
deformities and all.
No, we should do something.
Exactly. Let me come to you, Richard. Politics aside, what is the level of commitment we need as a country to stop this issue of Galamsey?
This Galamsey matter, I don't know how you take politics aside. Let me start from where Chairman ended up. Chairman is very strategic, and I appreciate it. He's doing some good work for the NDC. But you see, President Mahama is very soft on Galamsey, and Galamsey has worsened under him because he is compromised.
Richard.
You see?
In these 3 months.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Richard.
In these 3 months.
Richard. I didn't want to go there. I said, let's elevate the conversation.
No, about that's what we are doing.
No, you are not. You are not.
But I haven't finished. How do you establish that? You know, but the point is that he is soft on Galamsey because he is compromised by many of the things he said on the campaign platform. That he benefited from Galamsey votes. They actively from 2020 campaigned for Galamsey votes. So where he is now, he cannot do anything to, at least in the short term, to attack these Galamsey people aggressively. He can't. So for me, in my assessment, strong statements are one thing. Yeah, but the action on the ground to deal with these matters are not there. They're simply not there. And so we are facing, well, if it was existential before, I don't know what level you escalate to if something passes existential. But it is worse today. And we are threatening our own existence with this Galamsey thing and the inaction of the government. You understand? Granted, Galamsey didn't start today and all of that, and we need to fight it. At that level, I say that let's take the police, well, probably not take it out, but deal with the issue outside of politics because they're interlaced anyway. But the idea that Galamsey in our present situation is getting worse is because the NDC had tacit benefit from Galamseyers. And they cannot do anything right now immediately to deal with them. You see that even chairmen, people who perhaps don't have your value and experience in terms of doing right by this country, are leveraging their power as a party in government and they being chairman of their party to abuse even security people who are fighting Galamsey. So right now, under LDC, Galamsey is free for all, especially the people who knew that this was the government we voted for, and they told us in the bushes, in the trenches, that vote for us when we come, we'll allow you to do Galamsey. They said that. That was their campaign. And so now, you just tell them, don't do it. So the thing is out of control. And when in November, December last year, when we were trying to have this election done, the NDC was up on the streets, up in Nam, saying that we should declare state of emergency. Suddenly, it doesn't make sense for them to declare state of emergency anymore. President Mahama is complicit in this matter because the utterances he made on campaign platform, his rhetoric, now is convicting him. He's compromised by design, by his very politics. And so now we are facing a serious problem. One that I think that, requires a whole village approach. I agree with my brother, it's another level of maybe seeing that we solve the problem, because a lot of things have been tried. The security is not working and all of that. I think we need a new approach to this, which should incorporate some form of public education to try to drum home the idea that what you are taking with your left hand with the gold from the ground, you are going to actually feed into your system the damages from there.
Right.
The water you ingest every day, which you will do, the crops that you're planting on the ground, that is how you're harvesting and eating, have implication from the substances that are being injected into the ground to dig out this gold. The water that is polluted beyond reason, it's costing you more to process that water for consumption, and therefore you're going to pay more for it. So that if you are me in my village where there is galamsey, or in the village where there is galamsey, and you are sitting idly by, not being mindful of its effects on you, you actually should wake up. And so when you see galamsey happening around you, it is not simply something that somebody else is doing and that you are divorced from it. It is inherently affecting your being. That public education must go, that we must get our people to fight this. The big people, the people who are engaged in the trade themselves will not fight it because, galamsey is economic. It's an economic matter. That is a survival issue. People are engaged in it for livelihood. And so therefore, if you are fighting it, people will resist it. And the gain from that enterprise is huge. And the interest there is large. And so people are designed and they have constructed a well-functioning system to ensure that it evade. And they are, sometimes if you go to a Jubilee House, you see them. They're walking around the president right now. They are deep.
In these times, or this has been
we have only one government.
Just now, or even during the MCP time?
We have one government at a time.
No, sometimes if you go to the Jubilee House. So
I'm saying that right now. I'm saying right now.
We are less than 90 days. So what is alluding to is what was happening in his government. Exactly. That was what he was.
I don't know why Chaba is concerned, but I'm just saying that right now they are walking around the president. Even the briefing that will get to him, they will change the impact of the assessment that is coming. They will tell people, take that out, bring that in, all that. So it's a cartel.
There was a whole interministerial committee that was set up to fight this, and it failed.
I'm just telling you that it's a human institution, it's economic, it is designed for people's interests so they will protect it. So what we need is a citizenry engaged in this matter to try to have me be responsible, have you be responsible. So given the example Elvis was given, that so when I live in the Volta region and I go to Western North or Ashanti or wherever else to go mine gold, I am not oblivious of the fact that the matters that are resulting from there, the trails that I'm leaving there, is not a trail that is confined to that place. It's like the air. By the time you get to the Volta region, it will blow and catch up with you. So when we have this public education, then citizens can begin to talk. Set up a system where the citizens come to the security to report this. Get the chiefs involved. Let them be the advocate, the chief stoppers, the gatekeepers of this. And so therefore, when you see a chief whose land this thing is being done on, don't just go and bend the excavator. Go back to the chief and say, who obtained the permission to be here? Whose land is this? Find the landowner. Under what circumstance are people excavating your land near the river and you are not saying anything about it? Is it that you are aware? Is it that you are part? Is it that they have paid you? And so you are part of the problem. So we need to now be clear. It's not about just sending people with guns and trying to intimidate people. It's about being smart about how we're investigating this. This thing is not happening in thin air. It's happening on the ground, and the land belongs to somebody. Who is the owner of the land? How, under what circumstance did these people come to be excavating your land? Are you aware? And if you are not aware, how does that happen? Is that how things happen here? Then you go to the chief. Is that how it happened? The people in the vicinity. Did you see this? Right? Did you see this? Assemblyman in the area. They must be responsible. So it must be a whole village approach to this so we can save our water bodies. Otherwise, we'll be talking at it, we'll be talking about it. Meanwhile, the NDC is benefiting from Galamsey votes, and they will continue to benefit from that and pretend they are fighting it. Right now, I agree that the NDC, there must be a state of emergency, consistent with their political, the campaign rhetoric. There must be that. The president and now must also declare, more or less, not a state of emergency, but go back and repeal LI 2462. He made that promise he was going to do it. If he doesn't do that, we'll take the Galamsey issue to the next level. So it's not going to be only our waters, all our forests will be devastated in the pursuit of gold, which his government,
Thank you, Richard.
the NDC government, will not be able to fight because they are compromised
Thank you.
in their political
Thank you.
rhetoric.